Yo, assalamu alaikum kai bifanan nata murtanan new global media ka na kacha kontine men denta bankola kuola. Bi mbe men kacha la wolem President Barrow la ta bet ka coalition si form no nyadile me yalon ko gambenul sina ye kafu nyoma pour ka jeko Barrow kana tambi nyin second time la kata third time kang because amanta man seri kende di Gambian la after 2026 Gambian natale together pour kaje ko ila manse keo manda fula kana tambala so bi mbo kachala sudo kang nga human right activist Madi Jorbateh sudo jang na as our guest Madi bunyabe so nyinto betong ita muro ita subo.
Thank
Ngan co-host John Sam Ceesay Indiana. Sam, welcome. And until my host Jamu Sound in New York.
Thank you.
Madi, bankobe abe tumbo mento abe kolbe kolearing ngalo ne ko kudul beje ibe kekang before mbela post do fanan jibe kang video la mi ko silolu de la ba silolu konkret kol beje do fana nata video do fana ke ka ke potholol 25,000 25 million was spent on silol men yana ko potholol be and so forth so ngalo ne development ol be ke kambanko kane president barola time bari wo mu do kuleti me yalon ko nga sesi wala le so na yake safo ko ala do ko kele bari wonin manda fulan jawo teng wo manyo ma president barola wulta ko mole ko 3 years about the office election ke plain field isaji ni political party be chance of the pre contest so one at na buy because coalition on him imanna ila act put together saying 5 years not a fanang ako abe contest la for another 5 years so say manda fulan nyong fanang fenta bina banna ako ala party nying aka hansa kamta ko like ala party is a infant stage fire babysit kaje ko fo o kamal nyim banko kan janata be jila so akamuntal ko every time president baro mole chance yala akanala ko denki anin kuma do fana yana so ni ngalo ni mansa sira ngalo ne ko ntala african wala ake kenyami so ni sira je bukala fikaji anu gambian wala ni mun na opportunity de pour ka ni manda flanja ten ka establish afranti constitutional friendly filter 2020 constitutional you get the vote against so the other one me alon ko boro fana ya samana in last year will fana they vote against so saya kamunta ko constitution man tara kering Gambia moment dimbe je astara no jele fafau nin alma manta benye so saya mari lafta nyindiamo you can lead us through and then we will be asking questions as we go along and making comments baraka bake.
Yeah, thank you. Kontan tabake kana magi la program to be sako kanyin kuma kacha. So lameral ni jiberal be bebe tentula. Banko be situational mento, you know, ndega for sometimes ngamera generally banko de bukasi nga nyinko jibe kotake yaje nga tambe because sometimes ngamera kanyina na ko or maybe ngamata man kuma ya ko nga independence from 60 years ago sanjita war command and banko do be van no independence from sankini ga me Singapore wol betembe do sila ngamera ni borolom be sila kilintel dol jela fa wol ko fota fata ameta and but even apart from that any countrymen lota sabatita for sanjita war ninnata hana madun la nyantoto hana madun la yirwa banko la yirwa anyanta tambila le gambe be tembo mento sako ni ku jama fanam be bulanyin ko kono for example nafulo menya lonko abota comme na nyatankoto tax me alon ko wala sotonta julo me alon ko gambe ya ta ani makoro me alon ka dita gambia la ni na to be la fa nyokan yana gambe fonji be ala nemata ma nyame yaji ma haramadi damman fo all right bari comme natural resources ala en sommenna fonna tilolom bang fo fonyoto men na banko kan na banko fan be kendi nyame nga ba soton nga fanka so soton yaje fo fending isa fino nyim banko kan janna e falin so ni me gamma jibe nyaawo nyande a nemo soto ne nyaawo nyande ta mira me adnandi ko sanji lulu sanji tan wo siyata le fay bayal ko o si gambe fan al halo falin non sako kata fo sanji ta woro now bari mfelandi mbe sanji ta woro kono mbe sawnka wala sai an fombe bitilo mento men lankene mata wolon ko fuaria a jawyata baka nyim banko Allah na tambita banko buka fam balundi no fenti ye meron kon del ka adoku fa ANC amandan wala bari nga yele mandi nga ke fenti me alon ko is a finished product nga export so na Senegal nga titar ko gambe mu banku sene banko leti me alon ko 70% na population be sama dole kono bari na Senegal wala fanal fuariata mo beti dunia be yaji seno ay na flo nati bladot bandela jan seno e fuariale nati na Senegal yaji so ni nata bunda dul fanal be jibe fo jata kenda lombang fo courant ni jiyo lombang fo you know karan lombang fo bolabo nyoto lombang fo venite sa jibe hani internet alright kay adi molla sahaya fo fending bebe dasari bebe nasiri e lolte bannaje ano manke coming ala ya landi wonyale o bari ndel mu gambe non leti a beta nata drone bankola tamandiri nya kabri 1965 fombe bitilo mento wala man sahaya yaje so kono o bankola nemo be anala nafulo be harjo membe bankola ikaje ko soto baliani mfuarea landa tambita na problemo so de kafa e backwe yaje wala o be sabo ni tata na sato to kabrim banjul jankada fo passé idunda sato sate kono menka ikambenje dron fuarea ikambenje coming to about for public works lack of public infrastructure silol be nyaabeng 60 years ago ibo nyaale silol be jefa wol jawata le bi katambi 1965 yaji ni samanata silol motitano la ni sama banta kankanglom anin no yaji si faisa ko fodi central government and local government de nyimbanko and melbe central government local government ikaranta itamata itara dunia dawdandi tamandiro management administration governance fana financial management human resource management bank ya be karan ya be lo yaji nga luwal de na constitution to na luwadol nge mel sindi nge tombo nge sindi jama bela office kono pour na jamana na fa yo topoto nga luwal de me alon ko nga sembodi la même fumat yaji aji asi moment ni arresnole de lango sembodi ya yaji president asi wulno la ta jambe dawda ni adiata he de lango sembodi ya an nga fanan dépasse ministre si wulla ta dunia bantara banko kan nga dépasse de la fanan sembodi o fanan nan kay o fanan kenon yaji mbe jola alawan so sifalte banna mbe motol sanne moto killing $12 million ngoy ko du nyi moto ko ne be tani dala pour na haju topoto yaji bari o be ko la Momodou isina jibe tilimbalya menketi public office sunyaro tapaleya mazakunda ni ko mo fala mo de ko fala memu tonyati o ya dasan yaji so this is the problem. And so what can you know nga menje bring independence for sign tanji taw woro president sabadro president kilin sitaje sanji taw saba jaro wala kiji sanji tan sabo kono banandi nandi fo bring jaro bita fo warale se bo warti banko be de kirim men kan sada banko be bala fadal you see yo mbodoto ya jammenata wo kusifala continenta wo tata ay bala firmu samba a tembendi futandi blado melon ko aka sapi molka mfawla plaso nga moto mo nge sindi je pour yen kanda nga luwale da ko nyata ni luwa sulol la mo kilen kasi aka samo luwala aka o luwatinya aka sapi molka ay gambadun fa ay gambadun sorom ay gambadun bute ay bangambela na flota atata la fala nyama ake onya ay kordal luwala ay fewn kala melon ko ibuka karawno yaji yo wo kelo mo bele dun taw kono yaji mo manni yela kata koki si dol bota gambe e kelo continent dije dol wole kelo kijang in nawla warante kalala ay dol muta ay dol fa dol yeman da hani bi mo nyama wonti yaji so wala kono for 2016 nga falen droki ko butum na kurungu membijang nga obondi nga tamandir kuto sika felenti sanci kononto ning adama baro fana wo sila kilo men jawara yata ani ya jamme yata afana tilimo sila kilo nak oron ka sabati jang fufaw ka sabati jang fufaw an sawana ani sise nenyin ko jibe gammanol nga mol haklo blandi ko gammadul lafta menna wolom time 2-term limit. The evidence of that is in 1996. Birin Jammeh nata Jammeh Fanko Gambia didn't sila more than 2 terms, 10 years. However, in 1994, yeah, 1996, National Constitutive Council dada purkata Gamba tarik ka constitution da Gambia wol brina tarik la draft yemen da banku dun ko lafta 2-term limit la wale drafta yadi Jammeh anala military jontan kol itata yo bondije yaji inata itilla draft yodi mola referendum yo buto mol fanal tata e katro fa wonya 1997 constitution ngasoro nyinato term limit je but Gambia lafta menna wala term limit because Gambia constitution banku dun le kadada britata molia 1996 banku dun ko term limit yo niyo ko now itata nyato sanjita saba nyato mvurada 2016 President Barrow ala coalition ala presidential manifesto 2016 ku follow I men kumbo je wolom self-perpetuating rule because you get a problem moti Gambia jam and in Africa self-perpetuating rule because the more clean sita sabatita santo for a meta for watila akatinyaro le wulo and wo problem wo evidence wo tepanna Africa and Gambia is one example of that. So Mr. Barrow kuo kumbo ala manifesto to the coalition and otamel nyaro yo kuo kumbo ila MOU to ikonita sita ibo system change na la fonga 2-term limit soto yo bring Mr. Barrow in 2017 ya luara da iko Constitutional Review Commission Act ya 2018 2019 wal tata banko kan wal mandan Gambia de wal tata la fam fo Gambia di belbe banta na diaspora yol bejila and will be bring out a sita yaje banku dun ko 2-term limit ya safe wala kata na 2020 draft yaje iko 2-term limit and what 2-term limit na be datila ati datino la wati 2017 kola because 2017 non na ya me bandi wolto na sila kuto muta wolto and moment is in 2020 mu Gambia diwolti aningo Gambia diwolti manye na 2-term limit kela mammo fasa woto amanke no abar nyindo mawfo madi fo abar samde was 3 times keno or 4 times anide abe kala kuti me alon ko fo samlom man fo Momodou lom fo madi lom 2 times be kala 2 times it and wato nyande wato men na 2017 net yo bari ngam menje drom walom Mr. Barrow and ala cabinet ibe nyin ko fese kaytel ko no man sombola yaje iman wuli ya fo kenamato bari la kuma kan be nga soto media to because kamen kacha cabinet abena tanan inata butum mel muitella kafu nyolti in the National Assembly itatawol koma wol fanal inni wol ye wo 2020 draft ya burka so mvoda 2 term limit law 2020 but ni from 1996 kada for 2020 sove jamala fanan keta gambeja afro boromita sovel keta jande and wo sovel ya itandi ko yaje gambe no lefta 2 term limit lela
Yes.
so nimen ko bi term limit in the 1997 constitution kono ndesi songa foko yes atije but danilo menga atije amanke gamba diun le makije gamba diun lefta kakije meli abondi je wol mu mo dan tendet melbe in the cabinet and in the parliament wolle gamba diun nakari gamba diun lefta le banko e tama nyame yen nakari ye 2 term limit bondi je so for me term limit is legal, is constitutional, because one of the will of the people. And many are bondage, I consider them rebels, I consider them insurgents, I consider them criminals, I consider them traitors. Me alonko wol nyante mutala nye londi nye kontibo. Wolle gamano nakari, but what Gambians want is to
just your pause here. Many bondage, can we just kind of like highlight them? Ngalon the National Assembly members are one of them. One of the folks that the many alonko woleli they contributed to that. But if we can Ninsi will marry your pinpoint.
They bear a name sort of remember nola, but there are 23 in number. Yeah. Alajimbo Beorokono is a National Assembly member. Samajallo, I mean, I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, understand. But Biletum Karamango, be a majority above the Kono. Yeah, but there are 23 National Assembly members will let Ninku vote down. I'm sure it's online, most of the names will given. But not just them. It's also because Mr. Barrow is complicit. The Minister of Justice, Laura Jallo, is complicit. And the entire cabinet at that time, it will be they are complicit. Because now it will pareta ko Gambia didn't left a men la banco nyame tel Dakota walla. The support men cabinet yanta dila 2020 draft la don't be lota 2020 draft but baroma low kaso 2020 draft ima support ala cabinet members ima support so they are part of the betrayal. It's like 1996 ya jamme Edward Singate Yankuba Ture because that time ngamere sana sabani ni sadibu bondile yaje I'm not sure about Kaba Bajo also 1996 at that time drafting Minala. But these are people who also betrayed Gambians.
So the betrayal started before, even well before. Betrayal started even well before, like in 1996, even well before 2026, 2016.
Say that again.
Because betrayal started even before 2016.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The betrayal started well before 2016, 2017. This is since 1996. And, and this issue, for more address, because, Bankola Alhalo Betembo Mendo right now, member ko Duma is the fact that proper governance system sort of mealonko abatnen la mokilinta sino la nyato for faw wo is a problem in itself o ma fansum problem multi mealonko problem jamma be larin wala kan ni mokilin ka si ka ke presidenti sanji lulu sanji tan ani ka tambi way the moment do situation kono and wo evidence also in Africa jang ngaw jele yeah. So a manke time limit for the nana to draw sinya killing abe bankola problem be solved la. All right, but as a benefits at a bakele, and more importantly, aka kule kari and aka men kari wala famu the cancer because aka men kari wolom aka dictatorship aka wala kari. The moment dictatorship don't that wrong, banko can wrong, then tinyaro not. So in self-perpetuating rule, ka si katambi sanji tamo klimbe siri nyato, aka maral kurumle natina. Yaji. And wokonolom institutions bundal mel belorite bambanola, inyanta dogo ka nyame jama jama kata nyama, tapalea kasiya mansakunda kono kasaro, and jama jama kontibo buka keno je, wokono nyantol katinya woloto, yaje, and nuwa nyantol tinyala fanan, abkubuka jahra je. So wo na Allah fata asiyata fafata da tembedoto wole fanan kana setano wulu ida kudetalum warande civil war yaje o banko kandal surrounding sobo wala ka tari banko dum faul tema so wala nandi purunga si mo clear president kat sinya sanyi lulu wo faul siata bakele sanyi tang wo for me wo fumatan bari sanji katambe sanji tanna wo mo ko di menyan tan kijo farala so ndel nyim programo komi banku jama ba programo ko nyame ndel bo programo ko andum akwo kumara ka senen di fanan isi ikasile ka mo so da mu president election o kake yaji sanji lulu but ni insida drone self perpetuating rule na lota drone election o fam bugana na fasu ton kutaki o jannabe na fasu na kele baka tawlet so wala dan di bi ni taraji be sanji tansaba opposition man kuno jawara kuni tan ta bondiji sanji mo opposition man kuno jambe do fulla bang akata bring mantora baba bakatan keta mobe la fata nyokan wala dan dinata kurti la court
okay
ni taraji be Uganda bi Museveni for the 7 times abe election of win. Yeah. Hani saying opposition man kuno ala court. Banko man kuno ala court. Paul Biya for the sitting Sanji Tanani abe Cameroon man kuno ala court. Yeah. Hani watara me 2 times say wala 4 times le kono. 2 times limit be constitution kono abe burka for saying 4 times abe le kono. Yeah. And yil bebe dawda di banko katari man toro le kono. So ni example asiata ni mo meta nyato hani ni data from bankudo ya jibe comme ni ko libe sometimes simol moy Gaddafi is a great leader or good leader in the molla but at the end of the day men data ke Gaddafi for the promote is the fact that Gaddafi sila jele fa beta yeah so that even hani men sila ko ha the West American Europe wala America fine but the only that is true. Well, they had interest to remove Gaddafi, but Gaddafi also, Libyans, they will feel Jamal Fana, il after Gaddafi Abuji. Because Gaddafi la watu, mo Jamal fat, ay mo Jamal muta, ay mo Jamal fa, ay mo Jamal exile. Yeah. So, nimo siran kan na aputa tempe noto, akatinyaro le nat. And nyantawo avoid lale, Gambia jang. And the lesson sort of the dunia, African in dunia batala, menyan tan krandi la ko ni musilati manyana ni silota.
Yeah, yeah. So, but mbe mutala jump follow for 1 second. Then my son in Sam sina. But in left day hakilo bulandi la kudo la man President Barrow for walem. Ala video do biji konying niado ko ke for 2 terms. Akwa is a big fan of term limit. Do konying ni that after 2 term you run out of idea. If you got idea so je kabata ale fanang you run out of ideas. So I bet you tell ji. For video nyimbe circulate on social media and even a town hall here in New York, 2017. Ayo kuma si fal fanam fujang ko jamme nga jele men kete jamme la so nyim siran kam mo manya na tambila two time la so itela miro to mun yati na baro yala main falling sign nyin kuoto because momi yalon ko birabi na nyin dulando ay lesson ay example ta jamme la men kete la ay jele aning nim ni tada fo image nyin dulando you run out of idea ika batale fanang so you need fresh idea fresh people fresh somebody owning fresh idea na munatina baro bina falina nin tembo and dung ngajele fanang ala Ahmad Ba fan na diamo me ake jang braba ala party members ul address kan o fanam bala o fanam memme alon ko anin barobe coalition o ke kan ay kuma kan bondi ka tandi ko hanisa be lafrin kan man sai anyini so wol bela ni wol be ka funyoma iti amira mun yatina barome ya lon ko announce jang five and ko package o da for after presidency mulko baro yin da fon wale all the benefits when you wanata iko baro bitalale so afon ya fo ako abe he's trying to look at non-profit work abe alafta wala kala after presidency ko atama interest to the purka run will cool baby will form a me fan I'm 2 years or so I'm tambi wala 3 years sign ngana all of a sudden at a baro kilwena I find the interview to Kafoko at La Party is too young. Walatina amal left run na bar walatina left run na because no dala party be burkala. So iti amera mone atina baro be wakil kam purka lo. Andu na lot of fana iti amera omu ati kukendo ti bang fa amanka. Ngala amanka gambe no le kukendo di because gambe no left two time la bar baro fa obeda baro la bang fa man bete ala. Yeah.
Yeah, amman be shato naka be lola tatam. Because abe men kala drong wolom tinyaro membe kere right now will be continue la and me alon ko hanadan ta tam la abe situation le create kam me alon ko ala kontiboro mina kole ala mina dimina yeah, because ala nyi sanji tan kono corruption jamale keta human rights violations jamale keta violation of constitution ku jamale keta me alon ko anyanta kontibola wala le so ndefe namu moti I dan jang and akana tambi and because na tambi dafana nyinti nyarol bina la falale so e be men gana robo no mi be kontiboro e mina kola de le fankan all right not to mention the fact that ko ni tara third term the possibility of a fourth term is there and often example on ngawol jele across Africa and so the moment it could be a fourth term wrong and it means if a condition situation like the potential pro human rights violations are because for a resistance sort of not just even for time in income but because also if a lot of criticism certainly because Coleman attack nyama and if a like a more then they can more control so nyil be mu kulati me alonko abe nyaton ko ya koto me alonko it is important that for nyaton ko especially banko nyaton ko in the Democratic Republic ila interest movementi ikana meje anata ikata moti me alonko ibete atale ilata haramade nyantole lata luwala andi pareta ka loko ke banko dole ingane sanun kono and so on ila best interest is ikana meje because ni beta je wrong elol be kala me alonko jama badnen la yana jarinteya and mo situation no kono at this moment right now funding called be jama menda about 40 ERS go protestant wrong and most have ko 2026 2027 2028 kata protest specially because public services be nyamen mo be tara balatana no gambe nyaji be nyite mo mendo sante ye ba ko ejibe it's a problem and a crisis be nyato because nyimba ko mo daga sabu unemployment lack of opportunities and so on and then dunia be change kan nyamen with dictators imagine in coming countries like America and even in Europe and so on so obey ko la na la gambe me alonko baro nyanta men fam la wala afutata tembe to me alonko atela do ko anyanta la ko anyanta na jan yaji akana force because amandre in his interest ate gambe fanana interest definitely but atata fanana interest so I hope I understand kana sidra be lamola ala sokol advisors yolla warante molmel ba bala e be kumal fala me anon ko amman soton mo manke jata falati moment special yaje. This is a very simple thing kake president is nothing strange fenta koma fenta nyato. It's like you and me drunk so manai wuli loi be suffering eta akontra loi erianta benkela yake o dronnam bar gafa ko jatole be koma wa jatole fa warante imuke kendolti ban o me atije fenda tije yaje. So baro kana so molba afar kun tentula abe amutala koma amu jata kyota manke jata keti mo manke jata keti mo be mo haramadi on drong kewne muso abanta yaje. So the reason therefore ibe nyin ko baikan nti men fono drong molom e manke moti comme baro manke moti men yalon ko to abo sa foko integrity soto comme a daji kata because nyim beta tata first and foremost daji kolom yaji haramadum at the end of the day daji kolom ibe men fola kulloto ibe men fola banketo ikabara walla
abukala word soul keep
ha yellahi do mendi ya timmandi haramadin daji kare ka ala lahi do timmandi ay lo to nyani tilin siloka yo mo manyin budum baro da kono 2016 komi ngafa nyame ay wole fo anala moni be wole fo a problème o nyin a manka te dronne alon ndel be na wolon bari be ba nyin banko kanjanne ngaje ja wala 30 years kijang ngaje jambe 20 years kijang an ngaje o problème o menti nga afrika tari nga banguroje bela problème o so nyimu ko ti malon ko bere d'accord tala ha amanke ku kalenti ka faham isi so niyate noto siloka wallahi dodi ani melbe nyobulu je sai mol tate o jiko ka mol e itombo ni samba nyato inata kuma ka ete memfo yo bay yela hedo mendi ya bay wo meten ron ite mari man dajika yaji ite mari man dajika and wo mu kulti menyanda banko dum de na bake bari president mol yole babulo ha mol yole babulo ala abe decision o menkela o nama decision ta abe action o menkela o action amata o sati nandi no moye fa dafta noto sati nandi no moto e motaki o sati nandi no moyta bako ya faje o sati nandi moñanta karana ate o karam sotonna o sati nandi moñanta har jewme sotonna dulaɗota ata soton nola nin nata ka president la kumaya government la kumaya nin nata nga nandi at the bare minimum at wolom isat nandi moye balu isat nandi moye fa isat nandi moye har jew soto ay muna fen soton ay sembetu ya isat nandi moye fo yeah, because the decisions may make about taxes the tax about the financial resources ba manage la nyame about goods and services ibadi la nyame o be manage la nyame wuka big difference keno yeah for be justice soto na tiluni tonya soto na kiti bundar feda soto na wo be abe president block kono and may governance faham yenna constitution faham yen luwa be lar nyama ya faham and marano kata nyame wo ka wala mu moti men ka aussi wo faham no yeah and baro jikita mol babala mel sa itandala ko ala place o kumata nyame and so amanke chahan plastic this why momani do place o marala inyata kila multi man ko fahamta idaji kata because ni man daji ka dron nal ko wala na problem moti wota gambe dronti womu africa be nduna be for bar africa be na nyaton kol man daji ka yaji ika luwatinya ika banko na flo nakari ka sunya ika fatam fanso natina yaje ika mol mantora amin yaja mejibe ay jongles dada wala kamuneke kamol fa aramadum men daji kata
Oto sifa kelo. Oto sifa kelo. Yeah. Nko woto sifa kela no o moment daji kado.
Aha, woto kela.
Yeah.
Yo,
So
bar butum nga nyille experience and mo manke Gambia kudroti wo metal. I mean, ajanyantale Africa kono jang. Yeah. Bari mo faaw o jamfatale. Bari commune drong kasi ka tapalea hani tema ke fam bari ka song ay ke o buka akele no famu daji kanta yan because commune ne jawara la fonko jibe. You may say go jawara personally among corrupt, right? You can say jawara personally a lot of human rights. Okay. But as the president, Jawara, how effective was he? Kajako human rights they protect all throughout the Gambia. Kajako institutions they perform, effectively. Whether it's education, health, any area, they perform effectively. Yaji. Obemu dajika quality, obemu njaton kaya sobe ya quality. Yo, bodo nindara ya jamaa o manga sumti ani wuloti bari o mo fala dati fam. Yeah. So this is the problem.
yeah.
So wodaji kataya woram na pronapot. Imagine ni Jawara and Malcolm Kanyanta Barrow for a candidate. 1991 number 91 or 92 in a PPP Congress. Jawara Kabajira. Yeah. And Hanamadum, itimata. And Jawara Wato 1990 already 20 years in power. Mesela for 25 years. Niman kudu kitene woto 25 years. It is a keno kote. So ni Jawara munu nyaton kati mea lonko ala nyaton ka a bambantale. Abe lari miro leka ane hamon leka mea lonko sahayata. Kutad na Jawara yo 1991 promise abai. Ajante da hala bido watol. Bari alaoda habalia. Wala fana data mantoro wudate. Ay mandoro wudu Gambia. So fonga karan tariko fanantu. So that nganyin ketu yamar kafa ko kumero ngedema keno bring 2017 to 2026. Kana ite okay ite kula fano la otokotaki kata 2031 ka. So
yeah, so nsi Sam bula sain Sam fana yala nyini karo sabanang Sam itasu
yeah. Thank you, Madi. Definitely kujamal le fujameni yalan ko kumata back and beten to lokambe jaila. Tonya mu tonya letin tonya mu cleanity tata dawoda tonya wala kalaba all the time. So many for fonga kumolu sembento yadra because in mufende de me yalan ko aninta fango kundingo na grupo ko nan kanyulo for nke for mete for a number of years. Nga start in 2-term limit la 2-term limits ni dunia be tamantama ni ajibe bankolo men yendang ani bankolo men yalan ko if effective tabake katama a development ke kan rapid development yaje ye 2-term limit also do jele term limit also do jele me yalan ko ni asa binyanta kabaye. In fact ni mo ka lo fa ka ko mo kilin tuje dron ndeka wol nyine ngamen na wala mo kilin akamta ete ya jefo mo kilin wole la miro wata gembe mo beti bang fodun wole keta mote me yalon ko wosimen ke no mo kotante o kenola ani te mari fangola family kono e kayne itande ko ete fangola family fango kono moto je mensi nyin sifa keno. So akumata bake nga wajibe banko dengol lafta menna wo 2 terms maximum wo kuma tala way honor yeah wo fotale e fota constitutional review commission murumurunta dunia ko ne moni nyinen ka e ko lafta 2 term la janniyo fana mbeke la ko mi mali ya fanya min Gambia be ko 2 term limit wo kuma ta bake Gambia majority ko lafta. So womu kuler me alon ko akumata bake bawo ni ma menke no la sanji 5 years for kono e dunta 5 years for nyankono e nyanta ka wodole ke ni yawol ke defana nyanta jile do fu fanena e tamang ideal men shoto tinin ideal men manna nyin do fana ni wasina en ayo tamandi wallahi te adande daming do fana yana chika sambaje nima woke e kamuneke wala maka mantoro nati banko kan ko min madi afa nyamin ron nga jele jawra men sabje labon ka danyari jamme sita je jamme fanan labon ka danyari coalition nata ya bandi and then bari be ni ajibe labon kono nata ke gambe tinyarolti akatanye tanya do sen komolti so akomayata bake kajeko we stick with that I lower nyama momo regardless of who the person is it doko ke nyawo nya it doko ke like a tambi dunia la president the world's greatest presidents many yalong kong yelong history and many tandiko wolu tonya na tela bankol kan ye doko kendo keje so it doko ke no la katambi wala wolio menke in two times all kono itatina ya fo bo kala in ila two time ko ne ma ken ko e besila ko for another time ite bo si fal ken la you know kula mo me alon ko Gambia be nyanta ka o consider ka o jibe anin ni ya jibe akalaba nyame wala tinyaro wo tinyaro ninga ko ma filanga history jibe jawara jamano birin jawara bondita je mona e man commission wala ndika kontibo anala modo e labanta nyaadi de be ngawjel yo jamme na la molo sita 22 years plus it fanan jita mona la banta kala ko commissioner lord they had to look into all of your menike yela assetol be freeze yela fengo table inila dimbal batata mona ajarta way na bang because mo nyanta kayna je ko Barrow government fanan ninga jita wati government nata they will do the same thing bawo ku jamal le fotay ko million jamal le filita ka ku jamal le fo men yalan ko tinyata na banko kam many man address and saying ma resolution so to kon so wol be konti bolale so janni be gena sila je tinyaro be gena la fala akunto berin saying two-time moto is best nga dandi woto member konti bo for the past 10 years wala be sone yala but not only that that's what's best for Gambia kajeko momo besila ye down two times to so ntenga suggestion all deal for now you know coming na diamol kon ron ka fanya solutions for Gambia na forum kono nga idea Jamal for a suggestion Jamal for many alon ko ni be kala nindun tawo time kono nindun tawo kono siwol for coming coalition be keno na nyadi le mensa tinna because kumala coalition ke pro kajeko nyin term limit on yin I dang this nyin to bawa mantra constitution kono yes to nyalam mode president force no la ka fo ji bawa mantra constitution kono membe je sainte wala mu limit mantra je so nadia ta sino je bare Gambia de wala nyanta mu nekala wala kambe mo e kan intebe mo e ka je ko e coalition okay ka ajindi ni ajendi immediately luwa kendol da luwa kendol kono wala mo two time limit dun katabake jannenge nafi kolo ning setano be dun dol kono kaje ko woli e kontine ko de ba ka kawro nyam e kanale du ko to ye ka kumosi fabde fo kaje ko dal wo kana dunje wo kuma tabake menisita don katabake way dun luwa kono katabake e sajen dun ni ba dun la luwa kono fana kuma ta ko Aike luwati me ya lonko aike entrench luwati dipito da makana fali noi fayi isaje nabe falina fonga fighter referendum o jandi wobe falina wodumbe kole ala pour ka Gambia be majority to Gambia kono ka foko two time limit hoy bonde so wala na nyanta ka dunje I seal isaje momo mina isinyi lonko at the end of your two term ni lokita your time for okay you kendo ke jamole kato fight for the second term it's along ko at the end of that second term ibe balajen adiata o mandia o ibe balajen so you know lafta nga danja donc a chance le fene diam but lafta ka madela diam o sementu ya nyin two term ko to kuma tabake banko ni ajembe ko ma handisa ente ka wala fene diam kono nko Gambia we are way behind time bawo ni ajibe Gambia ni banko meni independence to nyola wolien dan ko mi madela diam ko na fene ya fole ko ninsi lole mu kamta wolien dambake le foy buke je fagite jala so mbe wo stage lokon akuma tabake nga sila kendo ta mensi na development or sama nyato kan na banko da puru na sama kama thank you
abarka sama barka nyaje nyun topico important ambaring la anin jibe lalo because nyina musel election reality andung President Barrow ananta alonnale what time it is to our government what time it is what's up ananta lonnal because na president ol amanka ko ibuka ke mo kendo tide gambela leaders will be leaders ntela crossirodo na joya crossirodo ali be sole so far niya the reason why nga fo because ina flow li kenyami anin kana mol min je bala mfon ka jele men ye men kita multi ani men ye system mol samana men ke falin bari i mantara wo nyama i be ni ngani kendo le kana man sayala kabo president jawara kata president Barrow awen kata jamme kata Barrow dol fo be je buka president fo president alsa fo be fo mon president ya nyini fo as such it be some accidental way it done that or unexpected way I can say well ala ya fe manki accident but unexpected way it be na man sayala amanke ko mul min fon kon ki fon deo man sayala ka man sayala nyini fo lafte fon fala woni ol man si follow so kamala ngamera sami men fo comme ni sentanol men ki minim wala anin ni nafikol anin mukrul men benna bankol kan wala benna bankol tinya kan aman necessary pour que tol fo baran fa wala dol lonne ikeje momon din nada power ikatra le nakila ye wala ke jammela mul jamabi je sa men bi baro bala wal momo si falelt aman ni pour que tol fo so baro nante la moy la nanyin so si fal akela moy kaje ko falafta fon wala le bang famal la fa fon kantu ko mbe ya jele mona be stake ninto comme madi men fo commissioner da bo kuru je me ya lon ko asifa abe sembo be wara not the more atuda power the more stability what can happen ala life towards his life is going to be very 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 distant so ate package you did that already me ya lon ko ya package you approve in the parliament after life after presidency wo be laring ababatun na je so ni mo mati men lafta fanna ite nan ta munekela ite fanko you are not leader ay manke fanko ay manke politician oti ite mo businessman oti ite nata nyin lando pour mo le jikitela and you more sort around you yetti mo sort wala ne nyin place sota sa ite tada fo maximum ta kije me alon ko 10 years ale sofo 10 years yo ke man siala e man mantora soto je sai muna jartela yenyin risk nyinta pour ka continuer first of all banko modu na jihadila instability binala banko de kambenna ya fahamle cool be kela so ngamira president baro nantel na fila fanna ay lafi bu kamben wala a fala mole ko alal fam jibe jumale bi jang men sin banko tamandino aylo ka foko na patio be fala na la patio fo patio lel manfa pibi bi ñol fenko ñol manfa patio fatale wo man katale responsible pour patio tare jam forever not on atinin gambe no be kera mo kilomot so nti lafta wole la nyin kan barki president baro nan la fila fannale ay biko han sa man ke baya sanji taw woro ma fan han say ni ala asimayandi asisanyi jaman balo after presidency iko there's a life after presidency bu ibunya bije tanko bije suturo bije itara dawd landing isi bukol safeno ye ku jamal keno ngajele hani baro ko ba ma nyulbe after life after presidency enjoy kanyami so momon nimbe nyin la moy kan o nim president baro fon be nyin la moy kan nte ko nte be nyin fly price ay mira ay constitution two term hani sa man tambe wo at least wo dam hani wo fon dam ma dunta kol kono ngo soto comme sam ya fo nyami ngake in lodi wo dai bondi kol kono nyin dol how governance other governance area we can nsul amen no as the time goes on nsul fenke no bar fo president barole ate même driver seat janna be sila ba fulo ko lafta boso na boso ko me jamanji yalla nyun kuma karantan fol ni starta ko fo rek aka muna tandi ko men jamme kita nyami ite you are off the touch because nyin man sa palaso alay ko atla ka fara aka fara la di ala hana madon na lafta wafati bulu ni man mako bar ni mako da asa tubul fo wato mi la ko ite fo ya eji bari ite kuma kalanta am fo le be kuma bal fo la komen ko ite mu alati o ite you are close somewhere close to ala ala fo ma la fo la so nti amere nyi man sia sometime ka du la le anu mol men fon ka dundi la wala men be bala itol te man sia ala de bari tol domoro drong anin nafa ñine be kering so nti amere mem wala nan takela bari a mari sai ngadun coalition la plano kono sainteng bari coalition be diamola andu ngalon ko UDP is very critical pour que dun coalition o kono bari itol le fulo mo me alon ko ni me la leader ta itol to coalition la leader man ke nyaton kori itol to dunna je so lafta nga coalition plan on yin nga wala kacha at this final 30 minutes ka jeko muna sikeno coalition la karola pour president Barrow to stop no because wodama sa stop no sign by the loi man tara kering ani nata nun coalition fanan soksita pour ka Barrow stop muna be keno la pour men hapunta mfelta nyami fo reforms ñol mankeno time limits ñol mankeno constitutional mankeno fo o mari fanan bitala fay ay power ni hijack kataraji again comme baro keta ñami muna sikeno ko fanan stop so this is the left ñin la tablo kan police ma ko ka nin sam ka jibe ambo address la ñami mbukela kuma you are muted immutable. Yeah, this
Okay,
is very
thanks.
important because
So
this is the solution.
yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe a Kobe and Tabe Kachanola, because there are certain
Nima kacha no then si demanding for ngamurna because ning area
right. I know.
ning
No, what I
solution
mean
no.
is,
Mhm.
yeah, there are some partisan issues, Malanko. I'm not very much interested in that. But we'll talk about this, to the extent possible. So that when it comes to the coalition, I think um, it is important that coalition is strong.
Okay.
If naturally we are going to put a stop to Barrow at that time.
Is
Okay.
that the only solution though?
No, that's not the only solution. But Barrow himself, as Afa Yamar Nole, ala Nafakan, and in Bangkok Nafakan, I stepped down.
Okay.
I NPP, another candidate needing to go on. But also, citizens or rational to protest at a third time to put pressure on him, prac at a third time meaning. Yeah.
Okay.
And how they will succeed or not, I don't know. But through democratic, peaceful, legal, non-violent means, citizens are rational. Number
But
three,
who's gonna bail the cat in that sense?
yeah.
Citizen
So
no.
I mean that as I said, we're more banqueting la quality. So who will do that and how and so on. Yeah, I mean, but I'm just saying option BJL,
Okay.
example. Yes. But also even without a coalition, citizens bearing in mind a responsibility, a duty to themselves, can say, "Okay, I'm not going to vote for any person make a third time sick." So that even if there's no coalition, at least I will not vote for somebody, maybe Tata Mideka. I'll vote for an alternative. Yeah, often an optionality, me have a citizens will blue to say we'll go to election, but I will not vote for somebody looking for a Tata. So even is some new party or new candidate over there, I'm a professional. I rather vote for that, but not to vote for somebody to perpetuate self-perpetuating rule. All right. And all of this probably the shortest way maybe as most common bro, all the parties a coalition form to put up one candidate.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The possibility of that also coming because this is not the first time a coalition could try in this country. And all the coalitions fanang nga issues nyo jele. The coalitional mandate coalitional started in 1996. Coalitional formed you know, um, 2001, 2005, 2006, 2021. All right. And so coalition has always been going. and experiences yeah, and I guess the most important or coalition mainly the more hakilo kono back is the 2016 coalition, but also the 2005 coalition, which was not. Yeah. And me not ngajele will crumble before the election, more or less. And 2016 ngajele will crumble after the election. So experience bijele me also in some sense makes it difficult for coalition law. And so all the parties would have to come to have a conversation, frankly, directly, so that they, deal with these things. Because at the end of the day, I think that time ko manyano entertain in the Gambia, no matter who it involves. All right. Now, to me personally, I don't want to get into the idea of coalition formation, like who should lead it. All right. Or who should not lead it. What I know that should be a coalition. So I don't want to get into that area, or political parties to deal with. But for me, coalition or no coalition, Momodou, something important is what should be the agenda. Right. 2027, what should be the agenda? I think in the experience, not just 2017 or 1994, but all the way down to 1965. The time has come, the issue of governance monkey something to political parties to do hajom and government. At the end of the day, political parties and government in our name and for our welfare on our behalf. So the interest they are talking about is our interest. And I think citizens union the interest is top down there, not just the rhetorics and the sweet talk politician and baffler. And so for me, the agenda really 2027, if I have my way, we need something like a 2-year transition or the constitutional, legal, and institutional reforms so that a proper republic construct. All right. So until now, my constitutional sotong na loi jamal kutal dada bari on fanan be jama be dasarinde dol bije fal mu prolamol kutata bari prolamol dom dol bije kutata betata bari manter tamaka na bundal lo 2017 kana fa sai transitional justice bundal coming TRRC or Jana Commission, a recommendation okay, which recommendation jama bije implement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okola Auditor General ye report on bondi le tari. All right. National Assembly ye resolution kele tari. All right. So corruption case Jamal bije police wala investigation Jamal ke presidential commission Jamal lota investigative journalist le report Jamal bondi mel beta nata ye corruption le lankana maya aninka balafiro ni sembo ka samba masakunda tamandiro kono ka hadamadu la nyantu tinya kanda constitutional tinya wol konti boro sulata o mafal. So for me the agenda 2017 agenda kala konti bo agenda altifanan kaji ko auditor general reports, parliamentary reports, presidential commission reports, Jana commission, TRRC, and so on. Mella kenamata abebo jot.
Okay.
So that at the end of the day, within 2 years, the reforms will kill Bealonko, Abening Banco Landila, Silakan, Membelarin, Lua Silokan, Dilunin Toya Silokan, so that the next government met not. All right. Ibajaloko, Ibesilatan Larry, ni Sauntala, Niatia, Abelankanamana, and Kusilao court, Kusinono, Kuno court. And those reforms also agenda major local government reforms. Because one of the Tijar Bakata member in this country is local government. Yeah, because the local government be sabatri nyame, the local government act alan be nyame, and in local governance tamba nyame, not just local councils new kata nyame, but even the central government kama local councils kan nyame, tilimbali a jamana bakono. And wo form be bankola yirwa nasi kan pakel the local councils new lenyanta kela na yirwa single, right? But woman keno because local councils ya jamme mutandung ayake birot PPRC birot more or less ayake coming from kudulat domor dulat. So we'll go and halo kono but to bring a change for 2017 ngaja ko the Barrow government for local councils ye mutaw nyala o ma mel mutano wonya because we'll be oppositional blue imman chance di wol fanal la
hay man silo yele
imman silo di la cooperation me sula tala membe la loi kay man tero loi silo tamande kan from the central government position, but at the same time local constitutional fanal be with all the kind of coming some of them are doing still inyanta men kada wona nyanta siala anyata tambela jinala baki fan. All right, so nyimbe mu ko ti malon ko wote jara nola just like that wo fonga ta back no local government act na jibe kada kuke so that the local government system properly lundi imbako. Yeah, so with that role they got feel wona nyanta kala agenda ti and coalition be dala agenda dala wo agenda de kan. But kavo ka coalition ke ngata party killing koma o ngamo killing tombo jana then between 5 years we marry na low for me the repetition of kela 2017 experience lemina for me menjanda kela wonam ni coalition of kela abekela based on an agenda that is deliverables, what outputs don't expect la from
but the first target was kabarola tam kawo buruka, and then after the fact no botala then your target will see put into the coalitions again.
At that time kawo tanka is objective, but kawo tanka fana manke
the final destination
final destination okay and kawo tanka and the tarambulo le tala yeah and wo tarambulo wala fana be wo tankaro nying sahayandila ko mandri tankaro kala drum because malafi kare tata sort of full stop no dalila bi jemane kata nga tal majanda kala. And one of the dalila apart from the fact that at that time is indication of self-perpetuating rule menjanta avoid la, but also wo mealan ko wala kuti me wuli 2016 2017 was system change wala failed at 2017 for side. And so 2027 wo agenda jantana the back so that was system change again. That is why this agenda is important, because this agenda would system change agenda. So nyanta constitution kuto sotonale, nyanta local government act kuto sotonale, other laws coming, for example, the anti-corruption law that the master is good, but then coming anti-corruption law is in place. But anti-corruption law right now it needs changes because that's in the Hanisa, even though it is new. We have Criminal Offences Act, for example, but we have other laws like the Persons with Disabilities Act, or the Access to Information Act. Abenorim bari imandra implement. Why? Yeah, amandra implement. So, ilbemu kule timea nonko. The next government the agenda should be that. So, how do we make sure access to information are implemented? And now we are even talking about the special accountability mechanism, the special court, the special tribunal. Yeah. And wo nyanda kala kudima ake kataba kudima ake kataba court. Because the special court londila nasi sanji kili sanji fula sanji saba sanji nani court be loring hani sai kitol mamba. Kiro nyanta bana within the shortest possible time. Because banko has to change. Banco has to move.
Yeah.
All right. The 9 years, the Sri Lanka transitional just 9 years. All right. The TRRC recommendation will be the rate of implementation is less than 25%. 9 years. What is not justified?
Yeah, no.
So I mean, so for me, with the objective that term has to stop.
Exactly.
Yes, that
Okay.
term must stop.
Okay, so mbe Sam bulala Sam. Sam sina ye itu fane Marie
Yeah.
nying solution o men samanang about coalition la formation because a common la fika dum woto bake juwal nanta lead la nanta kelenya dile.
Yep.
Bari agenda sol men be laring akang men nanta achieve la after the fact that Barrow finger stopped Barrow stopped. So nyimu
Yep.
kuleti me alonko I sila jamale samanang ako multi protest nole Gambinol they can use their voters card to stop Barrow coalitionals keno sila jamal. So but the
Yep.
most effective one me alonko it has been proven that at Hamad we coalition or but the after the aftermath of the coalition that was taking place 2020 2016 Najala Menkeraje. So I slowly summon men was avoid no. So it different ningin karbe bulije because science is important we know nin coalition obe nin baro be lafta tambe stop la ananta stop la nyadi le aning after it's just not for baro ni mantara ke kampuru ka baro da must stop as an individual but system le me alon ka manya na continue na
Yeah.
stop at this time an kana sila soto mo kana sila soto no ala kotake. So I will for it goes like constitution as an intentional law, which is one thing. But at the same time, marifana nani approach is no many ayon ko info. Many alon ko mu areas let fana many alon ko is was if albino. Ida hakilo mun di la
Yeah.
sign.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Madi, for definitely your contribution to this platform and your contribution to Gambia in general. You come and bake and be tentro can be jaila. Nyen coalition core mtenga akuoka msa for a meta akuoka chala. I think it was just last week or so. Audio release in a group of Solutions for Gambia about suggestions about coalition of Minano Nyadile. Because one of the things that we have to do is to learn from the past. Mentambita, many and to learn from that, use that as an opportunity puruka qualifying. And Madi men for follow agenda. There has to be a very concrete agenda. Agenda kendo meya lonko we bankoleje o mamojede or agenda betara bankoleje. And whatever banko dingol nafala, not necessarily any political party, but banko dingol. So once we agenda bekela keda coalition party will be na nyokan the mauli na nyokan yela National Assembly ba be deputy also deputy bonkono. Nsafu jamaa deputy also deputy bonkono. Yela deputy all fanan samba na ba deputy jamaa bije kela party la ko agenda nyi support. Ni la party be duna coalition okono e fanan nyanta tarajele ke support ka jeko alembe nga sibang Gambia party ol be nga singa kacha. Na agenda kendo da member Gambia sambala nyato. Regardless of who is going to lead, right? Agenda kendo elandi. New agenda kendo albeda kotawala. Then aliewole ibewole usela as the reason for your coalition on your form.
Template.
Or agenda nyimfana kono kukeling ngaming suggestion in back in 2021 or before 2021 election wala muning presidential debate. But it janembedu no kono. Ila agenda nyin kono niye kuolu landi nyoka. It's all coalition members who backed by their National Assembly members. Yes, son yin na ko. Bawo nyine mu dakoro tembe nyine sign na kombe dakoro la ko nyine bekela. Then were National Assembly members also nyanta ka bilo pass in the National Assembly as part of the agreement. Wo bilo bekela munete wala mkaje ko. To be fair to Gambians. Nkana mo tombon kotenke. May yalanko he becomes a surprise to Gambia. or as a laban Kenya surprised. Well, like a motor mail on malo. All right. To be fair to Gambians in general, is a loi dun the loi may alon ko saying abekela IC la act la kono. Ka wolo falling IC la act nyanta ka falling. And you kono fonan ka keje ko saying a better debate like in the Gambia, presidential debate bekela pour Gambian will see the opportunity to select the right person or the most competent person to live menje ko nyina ben sambala nyar, right? Not looking for parties. So neo okay. Once we don't agreement all that, then it's coalitional. So coalitional, it will done again to be fair, to be in the playing field. To be fair, ibe munekela wale mu ye debate among themselves. Party la representative men left kake president, wala men left kake coalition la flag bearer. Ibe lola le national debate ke on television me yalan ko shaitande ko mo be saje ko moderator be nyinin karol menikela ol be kala nyinin karol men ko be so be la fana gambe don so be kaje ko nyeso mo nyanta lafta munela nita sita bawo party la representative many lafta ka flag bearer ibe to kala o kono la kaje ko lafta ka flag bearer, so therefore they must go to that debate. Nimme manta or debate you automatically disqualify yourself from there. Because Gambians deserve to know who you are. More nyanta ka long mbe jumalon la president yala. Mune muta daji koti. Ila respect, the integrity, ila vision for the country. Trustworthiness. Kawulu beji bemeni yana ko they are all part of leadership skills. Questionable nyininka. Nyim party coalition party members of the mall tema nin debate o kede tema ke nyinin ka Gambia la nafa ko momnede na balwola ni sita na balwola ko be mun kala Gambia la balwola ko ni sita Gambia la kono be nyamin sai tebe mun mutala planot ke nyinin ka mun mula plan ni sita mun mula planot ka security reform na te Gambia ni sita mun mutala healthcare plan for Gambia mu mobe na healthcare Nita sita munemu ila plano de pour Gambia la infrastructure. And ni wo nyongo porque diamo shutan lam daro. Nga jamala bi bari e ba telo la the most important questions. Ni e be klinkling nyinen ka nyunula Gambia dingol ye bela moy. Wolongo le mol balon na jumala mi jumati. Munemu la plano te fana. Ni wo keta wo be fair judgment o di la mola pour mol saje ko ñunu be kono de niela mo la debate la e baje la ko tonya karibe silo men kan plano member bro na o tamande no ni mo le cut off fire tamande banko bitanya to then yeta primary election okay to party da mo le tema nimme winter ota satra ya sign ko momo winter bebe backlaward e be o backlaward particularly bebe rally la behind that person ya support kaje ko wala mu coalition of flag bearer me ya lon ko womari financing wala be president of face la incumbent president because you bekala fendel me ka bekala luwalte me ko should be moving forward. So womari ni me winter auto then coalition of bay mem for Dakota men Dakota like wala be nga kafuwa marima ngalo ko inela patio nele debitol be allo mari ko alia support womario I see a debate organized or marry for an president Barrow, the sitting president. It doesn't matter who the president is. Ne or debate or do tema. Then a bachelor sign or becala more for the debate or to sign. Again, for to cut chance the game be doing la kill a time water can more select. May yalan ko to jikita one. Wo moderator bin Carol Kala Carol will be fatal president as incumbent president. Was sita jela sign for 9 years. Nyinen ka do bije abe fola nyaming moderator be wala na. Ka wolo nyinen ka ne wo debate batala. Once you debate kata pareda. A chocho be sela da diamo be sela da bako kan ali bako batala. Mo be ba jela ko yara fan. Wotumo molo abe molo makwela le kela mind for na make. Wato le ba molo jela e be nyinjala ko tonya nte katofala nyine tonya nte katofala nyine then ngana dung election okon wo mari drone belola coalition representative flag bearer law against the president Sarra candidate dor ko mal mantraje fe ofen dunda dunda coalition kono don wolo tela molon la ko tenke dawada because sai da ko tala ko bebe lawrani la flag bearer kom o maria president face debate la. After that debate a debate okay just within like 90 days before elections ni woketa. I think that will give Gambians a fair chance pour ka molo ko sonson ke jibe nyin mona munyin daji ko de mona munyin na vision de government bankoy mona munyin na planoti ninga sita current problem wol membije na economy la site, security reform la site, healthcare la site, balwo la site, backway travel member banko ka youth la site be mona kala woto ku jamani nyinin karole ke sai Gambia don sil la moyi be mona fa bawo ko ne president Barrow nyinin kala le itela jamano kanye wato ko nyembe ke ka munat ne manyin ne nyinke o munat ne yabula be continue la wanyame man fenke wala ye munake wo kono ka nyinin ka fana sala dalilol foy munat na e benna porol ni na fiangol be tayla la e bolu kela teng e gamsel Senegambia bridge and then fele porol fana belo porol fana na saito ka nyinin ka muna mo la dalilo te me atina nyim porol be dila wande mola ndol fangol mol marano. Tell us why Gambia don't see la na FM for me sense make Gambia don't ba moela na FM for me ya lonko a man sense make Gambia don't ba moela but in do fana be nyinin kala wala le flag bearer fana coalitional flag bearer fana be nyinin kala the same question wala muna mutala plano de kanyim correct moving forward ninyin keta Gambia don't ba lon na le sign nin kata fawsi ta woto butung sign mota fala mo febe kato fala me because abatara akwo janjanta social media to la beto mo be ala même moment mo be la jikela mo so te jikita ko nyinde ninga na banko di nyina be wala aba tamandel wala nyinde mamoje mense ku keno katambe president Barrow wota nga kato faya that's it nyina fiata gembeno ni woketa I think ne that will be our solution. One of the solutions, not the only solution, because in Africa, mumo bejibe, dorka eka kudol jenyami a solution dol be coming made dol for many anko they are right. Or for solution alti. But then the last resort is the military coup. Because nenga duta man tankia bankol kan Africa bankol kan duta man tankia cool siata man banko man bondino nyama mo lafta fale ngola military fed up take kamuneke kakudetale. So this will be a very democratic way in coming for them President Otambo. And I think it will work.
Okay. Abaraka baka abaraka. Sam ngila itala ideal about the debate. Ngomwele Madi ta fanang fankol principal men nantara tablo kan puru falendiro kela men kan sign. Our only challenge o membe kala wala mu jumale ba nyinta mandela wala mu quote first sam itela point itela coalition the debate nying ala member in institute la first of all ngalon ne ko president abukal lafi fango hani press conference thing fonin sayin da mandi kaja atika men ka comfortable men na ta rally la idea mai kuma for men na da hakilo kono bari pour ka engage from like a press conference or other engagements much more than debate because ngajal had national assembly sometime kala vice president the key understand so we need to know that we be implement no la nyade jumala bo make sure that we be work la nyame because
yes,
because either fabe alua male be kala and hanatara alua ma be suffering with IEC ko debate nyin nanta kala le and this number of debate le nanta kala when it comes to candidacy in the primary and also when it comes to presidential. So for we can find me along ko abekeno is can be implemented if feasible and who is gonna make that happen. So that's number one.
That's why good question. That's why I said Olatin Nanko Nin coalition of Dakota all the opposition party of Dakota and coalition.
That's one thing. Yeah.
Coalition of Dalilo Lakan.
That's one thing. Also organized no among themselves. But now when it comes to presidency, and whoever the coalition
I'm coming there.
At that point, if the president doesn't buy into that or don't feel comfortable,
Yeah, let me come to
for
that.
IEC leba alwa sa fela bang
That's
whatever.
exactly. Yeah, so nga wala fo ko ning dipitolo yela coalition sorry, opposition party yela dipitol bay rally ni te koma ka jako. Number one, what dipitol ba on agreement ko be kala ko bita coalition la. Then la dipitol ba make sure la ke loi pass in the National Assembly. Pro ka jako saying a debate becomes mandatory. It's a mandate. I quote.
Okay.
It will be
I
a
just want to
mandate.
clear that.
Okay, yeah, once your law passed on, then I see the do kolemo, kajeko, aning television station or ye blodu nyobru, many year long call is singing is organized, comica election organized nyamidro. They can organize. I suggested this in before 2021 election, and Fatu Camara with the Fatu Network did one. They did a debate between if you all remember that they did a debate for the coalition.
We know that it could be
But
done,
this
but
one is going to be hosted by the IEC.
okay. So that's
Once
what
they
I'm trying to
change the
say.
IEC Act, IEC Act they change it. Once they change the IEC Act, then IEC takes the responsibility of doing it.
Okay, so that's fine. I just
So
want
and at that point, yes, and at that point, the president, it will just be like meet the people's store is a mandate in the Constitution. The president has the right to say, "I'm going." He has the right because it's a mandate, but he also can say, "Well, you know what? I think that the country needs more money. We need money into our healthcare system. So I am not going to meet the people's store. I'm going to use the budget funds for that and supply the hospital." He can do that, right? So in this debate, if he says he is going, nobody can force him to go. He would go. If he doesn't go, well, people already know about the flag bearer for the coalition because they already went through the debate and that person won. So that puts him in an odd situation. That's what that is.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. So Sam, mbarung mari fana na yes me ko I samanang
But
that particular thing has to be in the coalition agreement. Now,
agreement is a must.
yeah. So to Madi, and this is one is directed to Madi. The agreement for thing will kakele. Promo agreement today. Because Barrow from be ko lila yin diamo manke diamo wahet. I am gonna jabi ako like he's gonna implement them. So cool be tabika water men kumu beka yes akafole. But what do you do purka they are abide by? Ninko wole so in agreement so and they are sitting on this ibinala together based on this in reform agenda so men be highlight thing saying muni abekela nyadi if abekela another agreement let bang like a memorandum if abekela put into some kind of like a contract or what to make sure that Gambia no lialon ko definitely nyun coalition ol men yalan ko bini support la madi la nyun ideas ol men yalan ko inanta tala or this reform agenda so thing how are we sure ibekela so this is Madi lefting in color wala and then once you answer that, then I can let you go with the final, your final words for closing, so that we can have you back another day. Definitely. Mhm. Even mute, you are in mute. Even mute.
Yeah, a lot of breaking was taking place between you and Sam. But I mean, if it is about what I was saying, how to bring that about, I think that is what you want
Yeah,
to.
that's one of the things. How can in Nintendo voters, how can I be so? Mbe coalition support la and yen agreement no beta afa banta. The be so la nyali la ko ñun be implement la le after they win the election.
Yeah, so for
Pabe
us,
Safela
as
in a contract for Abekela Munity, because as if I could they send an MOU and after MOU Momalo Wataradame
yeah,
after the victory. Mhm.
yeah. So I believe 2016 among proper organization care, setup care of the coalition, and that is why what happened came to happen. Um, and I hope that will be a lesson coming coalition for 2026. But and part of that making of that coalition, like the agreement, will measures I mean, how to make sure after the election that coalition government implements that agenda. They don't go above or, outside of that agenda. And in that regard also, it is about citizens, that we just don't vote, all right, but we also protect the, the agenda after the vote. All right. And then as Edward Francis Moore Center for Rights and Justice, we'll soon come out with Agenda 2026. And it's around this agenda. And for the election, during the election, and after the election, the role citizens may play. Now, as I said, I don't talk much about coalition formation. I think that's a partisan issue. I'm interested in any mechanism to make sure third term doesn't happen. But then at the same time, I followed some conversation, and I must say, Sam, unfortunately, I don't think we are on the same page there, because I think the proposal you are putting, I think will make Sambala back to 2016. I don't think we should have a situation where we say political parties or candidates to go and put up their agenda and sell their agenda. Because what that means is, it means we are going to vote for a candidate, a flag bearer, based on more party or candidates' agenda. And we go vote, and then we're married in power in 26 or 27. That is the agenda of the main follower, and he may deviate from that agenda. For me, that doesn't truly convince me. I think there should be one agenda for all the parties. There should be one agenda. But again, that is a big ask. That's a big challenge. That is one that should be, in my view, there should be one agenda. All right. And I've highlighted some of the items in that agenda. And then we need a transition period, 2 years. I think 2 years is enough to do that. Number 3, I don't think any of the political party candidates should lead that agenda. We need a non-partisan individual and a non-partisan cabinet. Political parties can contest in the parliamentary elections on their party tickets and so on. But then the cabinet should be a non-partisan team focused on this 2-year agenda. Because Kumembe Keri Wolam, since 1965, Manku Menke, Dadaro Menke, Dadaro Wolenyan de Klasila. That is properly structured in the republic. So that in the republic, get a lowering for the benefit of politicians and public officials. Since 1965, the state of the Gambia, the government of the Gambia, it serves the people working in government. It's a scam. And the time has come. The fundamental change on the nature, the structure, the scope, the management, the operations, everything of the state, so that the proper people state create, a proper republican state. It is based on laws and institutions and not to serve individuals. So for me, Umake party agenda or a candidate agenda. That is a national agenda, and parties should come around that agenda and the mechanism meaning. So for me, the best mechanism to make that happen, our parties will make 2 years is transition. All right, they all can wait for 2 years for the sake of the Gambia. 2 years, we have a non-partisan candidate, and we have a non-partisan cabinet afterwards if they win, and we all give support to the cabinet, and to make sure they are dedicated, they are committed, they are efficient to bring about these reforms, and then we can go back to elections, and then parties can contest, so that when they come in, they will find a state that is properly structured.
So
let me can I respond here real quick just to make clarification? I think we are talking about the same agenda. Agenda for Gambia, not any political parties. The agenda should be agenda la be kala fende me yalon ko e besila le da mon le do agenda yinde dala the best agenda for Gambia. Munem Gambia problem what can we address? So wole betara agenda kono, that should be the agenda. Then there may be only 5 things on it, but then on that agenda, whatever the agenda is, but then they are currently our problems. They are current problems in the Gambia, or that have been problems in the Gambia, like corruption. How are you going to handle that? Just to be able to select the right person, we need to ask them that question. I don't want any surprise. People don't want any surprise selecting somebody who has no clue what they're going to do with corruption.
Yeah.
But the agenda is one agenda. There should be an agenda they're going to talk about, not political parties' own agenda. No. Gambia's agenda. So I love to go to clarify.
So the difference would be, for me, it is not going to be a party-led or a political candidate-led coalition.
That's a good idea.
It should be led by a non-partisan, technocratic, individual and cabinet, who is trustworthy, who has the character,
leadership skills. Yeah. I like that. I like that idea.
I wanna I wanna come in here, Sam and Madi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Madi looks like he's manufacturing something different from what is already carrying at this moment. Now, that means all the political party. What do you do with all the political party will be still follow until this particular operation is done. And then are you saying that this particular operation will come with a leader? Mealongo is going to contest against President Barrow 2026. Can you clarify that? This will clarify no. Madi, are you there? Sam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. Yeah, I think that's what I said. I think it's a great idea, but can we do that?
Yeah. So Madi is there. I think Madi is moving, so that means he's there. Madi.
Yeah.
So you are manufacturing an idea, that means all these political parties will not take button follow for in particular transition for 2 years, and that means this transitional candidate will be Lola against Barrow for 2026. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I some parts could do, but it appears that's it.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's a sort of radical or revolutionary suggestion, but I think if anybody mealonko Gambiela alhalo ipota kalama Gambiela bata ipota kalama na political silo mengata the experience from 1965 to date. Nyantameng fola wonom ko na sonde na banko be ni toro le kono abe man toro le kono abe maran le kono anya nyantabona nyi maran kono maran be alon ko it is not Barrow alone, it is not Yajamme alone, it is not Jawara alone, but since independence nyi maran be nyine kono ever since, and there has to come a time fonga be nyi maran kono. And that would require, therefore, Fontel being a certain sacrifice. Yeah. And so, the political parties, the sacrifice is ambition of suspend follow for 2 years, so that the banko that are cooking, then let us do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So candidates would be have more than a president defined, but allow ambition, allow have more. Isa amutano follow by Sanji Fula. Banko because I'm done the diary.
Okay.
Otherwise, the promotion of what?
So say Madi Italy definitely maybe into our phone call is too late. As a keno late telephone, you nanted the dollar journal. Secondly, because we are in the election year. Secondly, for political party mulmen ya lonko ila leader so come usino dabo nyol men lafta kala president Talib Bensudu kada my friend here the TRRC Esa Falnyol president ya adunta wala nyame ni to ko wole ko ni to ko konko to ko te bloku wo kam tele ko ika iya ki kisere kuna man soto kana iswete ba fulo wole ko alal bulo fulo fo sanji fula intol meta nyi man sa nyi wala fo idea nyi wol bo sanna le ba fo ta sanna wala mu ko ti mem fo mo ti jang
ila ka sang o ila sambalia is when we will know Jumare Gambia hati amanken don't but tonya no mama we have to be realistic with each other. You understand? You know, if you tell our ambition to be president, what a priority for you, then that is it. But if your priority is jele ko nyimbanko be maralo kono bring independence 60 years, and it is at jano nyaro damanta mambo marankono, then amanyanda kala ku kolenti kavo ko ngambatun 2 years, you will join that movement kaje ko banko dada, because banko man dada. Momodou, take our laws, read our laws. If you read our laws, you realize ko banko we still have a colonial state. You see
no, definitely.
Yeah, you see we have a monarchical state. If you look at the practices, the attitude of public officers, institutions, the way they act, you realize they are still in a dictatorial, colonial, and monarchical tradition. And if we continue like this, it's either for next 300 years, So it is now a question of you and me, as Gambians, to come to decide for the or their selfish interest.
Okay. Ila nying malon for started kanying ko idea nying discuss bang with other platforms or other people. And then how popular it is. Abetaka nyadi because you move. This is the first time ben you moikang. Ntebe me mira kan come sam ka strategy memfo. Nte amera no. Maybe ninga politician on men bije sai ninga all tenteng. Nsina mo soto. Me alonko is convicted. Me alonko abe Gambia soto in hard. Maybe nga another way of drafting something me alonko follow abe kala lual fofeng me alonko abe kole sono guide la and me alonko ate tinyala comme nyi do tinyata nyame an nyo jam falta sut la je bari ite kany men foten ni to ko nyi politician le ye sabar sain pour kanyin kana modo tambindi me alonko amantare tol kono moli ni institute moli bambo como for 2 years pour ka reform all change then itol fana safo famale ko mona fonte da change nola fonte da ke nola fonte da ke nola and adiamo sinasia so man silaje wo be sone ala nyamin fone ngata wala nan ko fo ni mol kajata ko lal bang fo ye positive feedback so da ko to le bang because it sounds good sounds good talade to nyabe damen andung asikenole bari fo in environment be environment on kono woni mu kulati mi yalan ko asi faman late ani nabe kala fana malon fo ferol be ilala nyami
No, I'm on late. Kumelan ko natari I mol hati mol sontal. I'm on late. Because all right, sorry. So I'm on late. So as a kenole because mobe dakotala ko
mbe problem kono
and this is the and you need a solution. Now, experience on because ni politician ko ha for the delta kenola. But politician on lebe nyimba ko marka bri 1965 and is a benyi promo. So ni politician me ofo kuma kenso because all these politicians melbe banko nyidinka. Nsibe la party given individually and you realize hani la party among proper governance and management create even in their own parties. Sako ka banko mara. Yeah. So I'm not excited about any politician in this country. Yeah, I understand. So, and but at that moment, I have no trust for any politician which me along as until so more solve knowledge. Yeah, especially in a situation me along ko if I have a time limit or even time limit 2 times, it is more solved in 2 times. They'll just sit there to consolidate themselves in power. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, it's a unique opportunity that at this time, barring Bangola program more long, nyanda solve la nyadi la, and solve ro at a patch nola. Kami mba patch that janin jang ya jembe dulal sukilambe dulal city lambe. No, nying mbesila nga the entire state nga be janjang nga dada kumke. Yeah. And for me, I'm saying, usikeno 2 years kono nara rimparita in Sawaro in Sobeyala and in Dajiko. All right. And for me, all the parties when they interested, then you support. So Nimmo discourse coming at an organizational level, we have it, and I think in the following week or so, our statement will come. But it is something the member proposal also to just ngage the coalition formation groups will be ulika. Yeah. Amame last week ngame Apex group. Yeah, and before that, there is this coalition for system change. I think that's another group. I mean, so agenda they follow as such, but it is a contribution we will make to them to look. This country, this is the moment for us to restructure this country to make it a republic that it is. Gambia Bank a republic to follow. All right, that is it in law. That is the name and so on. But then when you look at the laws, the institutions, the practices, the operations, the management of this country, the citizenry, we are not yet a republic. Yeah. So, so for me, how long should Gambia live? All right. I mean, 60 years in some sense is a very young country, but 60 years also is a very long life. I mean, look at Singapore. In 60 years, they are higher, more developed than the countries that colonized them. Yeah. So the choice is ours to say, is late when you know. But then this country can live for 100 years. Look at Liberia, they are 140 something years old. And why? Because again, Liberia is not structured as a proper republic. And that problem will be across Africa. And until no problem was solved, Africa will remain a basket case. Yeah. So for me, look, enough is enough. Let us solve our problem once and for all.
Okay. Another concern that I'm gonna have, and if some have any concern to this idea, is that first of all, you Albina Lale Alba Fintindila. Yeah, we are in January, so December is election.
Yeah.
For this coalition and for this parties newly add a ambition or put on the side Kenyan J, ka Gambia J, Kenyan reform agenda soul J, that is the baseline ka newly independent person select to lead that, and then for mari be Barrow boy in the nola lebang. I mean, like in terms of like it depends on for any particular agenda be Barrow boy in the nola lebang together, which it could be. I mean, like you either vote for against. I mean, vote for Barrow or you vote against him. So maybe anybody who's voting against Barrow would have to vote on this independent thing that is going to be created. But my first concern is for political parties no coming if they will buy it. But even for one of them, sang then Omar Mafanje coming Gambia more interest as such. So let's say in a situation where UDP said to that because to the leader bari wala tana ni UMC bora nyokan no maka presidenti no man law until the kato fila mokore. So that means the ambition there, UDP even alone, Namantara, in any form of coalition, as a kino coalition on Yimbe at a strong enough la proka President Barrow Bandi. So Ngamela, the first past people to speak to about this idea to get on them on board would be UDP because they are the biggest opposition party at this point. Then you come to Kande, then you come to ESA, then you come to perhaps UMC, then the list goes on to buy them into. And who is going to spearhead this? discussion? Is it gonna be you, or you have a team, or anything like that? Because this is my first time purka ning idea ning ka moi and nungamer samfarang is the same thing. Until we are looking at maybe how to talk to oppositional parties, put it a different sort put together. They come and select a candidate. Me alonko ijiko sort of is winnable. Winnable means somebody me alonko agenda sort be pare fanang si mulbe because tonya mbuka sonna fulalem right, but na Gambia is polarized when it comes to tribe and Seoul. So nimmang mo suto me along abo Seoul be put that together. I cut off each demography I be hit when it comes to popularity, and then connected to that I be call it primary, cut for a win, because what Barrow la party and in Barrow coming to one a tribal card player, and that we have seen that in the last election 2021. So for coalition no ina yemu tumbong me along is formidable candidate. Yeah. So what I'm telling idea I'm saying it probably is late. Not only if it is next year, last year by this time, you can say you have all of 2025. Purka kunyin ka tabi ayemo ka sell agenda yin ka Gambian will sensitize into learning platform also. Then we would have done at this couple of so here and other platforms. Ibajala wobe sembo dilale purka Gambian will wulende. So that would be my final thought on that, and then Sam can come and then we can wrap it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we need to start to wrap it up here. But what I wanted to say about that is number one, Madi's idea of getting a transitional, basically, that's a transitional government for 2 years. I think is a great idea. But I don't think it will work. That's my opinion, because ndenga jinyame abe wotla nundami wolem 2016 with more jamme be siring be jamme bondila wo time abe kumala no what time because what time on defa na diamo ko nka fe ato kumodo fom ko nyinkai mo hanni tata wulolo ko ne konke ba chikana ya samba e den ko dungala nekta sindala duala ya sindi pride gambe be represent abe windala because people were ready to let Jammeh go. People will be voting against Jammeh for that
So, but
reason.
are you saying that people are not ready for Barrow to go this time?
No. I'm just saying, putting an idea at work, it would have worked very well in 2016 than where we are today.
Okay.
Time has passed. We've already gone 9 more years. Signing a political patrol betembele domeano ni ko e wol battery. Let's sit for another 2 years. Ntenga nyami na miroro to jamata sonnala. Ibajala handing a transitional leadership to Kawalondi on the side. What will happen? What can happen is Ibajala opposition patrol, they will still go out on their own. You tell a campaign, okay, campaigning for themselves because it is son now. It Jamata Sonala, but you come here for Yamindro, Nime Banco can lafta kake Obakel. But Jamal Beje Mayalonko, they want to be there. They've been fighting for this for years now. Imamfutanoje, Prukasika for wait for another 2 years, Abe Kolale blew back. So so but 2016 it would have worked that way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Madi, so you can respond, and then we can wrap it up. We will have you here
Yeah.
again
So,
once we see how this idea is floating. So
all right.
about that. Yeah.
Anytime. Yeah. So coming Sammy Kumafoja, it will work natari men left bankola. And that is the underlining point in terms of it may raise the timeliness. Yeah. Good time or TJ. It's relative. All right. Coalition 2016, I think it must have started around October, August, or probably August or September. And, by October, it was done. Ako mola fa jamme boje, but if I can for this time, mola fi Barrow boje, and indeed mola fa Barrow boje. So in 2 months, 3 months, Coalition 2016 was created, and based on party leadership, parties that came together, they put up a common agenda, all right, in the MOU, and the candidate that won is independent, just that became independent as the independent candidate, flag bearer, just that he emanated from a political party. I'm just saying this coming from the differences and similarities to what I'm saying and what happened in 2016. Yeah, but Barrow was an independent candidate in 2016, but emerged from a political party. But political party for a common agenda as in the MOU. Yeah, man, I'm going to the basis for Barrow's, manifesto 2016. Now, this time, what we are saying, we don't need the parties to come to a Congress to bring their candidates in the election case so that one of them choose J. Now, which in itself is problematic now because some parties are UDP are saying any coalition they'll lead because they are the majority. All right, we hear other candidates say we should go for a winning candidate, even though they might define what is a winning candidate. Yeah. So it means
So they winning candidate definition on the but go ahead. You left us okay. What is the definition of that?
So that is what they are saying. So they're coming for learning from 2016, but also looking at everything else until now. And then within the context of this republic, the affliction of this republic since 1965, then we need a serious solution. And
yeah, you're right.
An easy solution. It's not going to be a solution of convenience. It shouldn't be a collection, a solution of, expediency, anything like that. So, political leaders, from UDP to DOI to GDC to SFL, APP Sobeya to NUP, everyone, do they agree? There is a malaise afflicting this republic since independence, and it's a structural problem. And how problem was solved, it is not for us to rally around a so-called winning candidate or a so-called majority party candidate, but rather can we all come together an independent person for the purpose of restructuring the republic within 2 years, and no achieve, then we go back to our partisan politics. Now, for me as a citizen, I want to hear a politician say it's late or it's not doable and more reason about the dealer. Then I will engage that person. All right. But me as a citizen, this is what is in my best interest. My best interest does not lie in UDP or DOI or GDC or Alifasala or Science Wabu Ture or Usenu Dabo or Mama Kande or SFL. My best interest lies in a properly structured republic. Yeah. And so it is not also a common wrong at politicians able to decide or political leaders. But rather, I think if anything I should do or we should do as an organization is to sell this idea to Gambians, the citizens, to assume their responsibility and put pressure on their political parties and candidates to consider this. Yeah. So, and we will do that, as I said, we will bring it out and we will share it with you, with the media, with our civil society, because also not just EF Small Center and the citizens, but also all governance stakeholders, the media, the civil society, the political parties, we will share that this is what we need.
Yeah.
All right. And so in closing, I would just say, for 60 years, the citizens, even though the constitution said the sovereignty of the Gambia resides in the people of the Gambia, that sovereignty has been hijacked by our state. The constitution went for a core, the authority and the legitimacy of the state and all its organs is derived from the people. All right. But that authority, the state will overstep it, they abuse it. All right. Constitution went further and said in section 1, subsection 2, that the state and all its organs will perform their functions in the name of and for the welfare of the people of the Gambia. But since 1965, the state does not act, in our name and for our welfare. The evidence of that, Mobeta, the national budget GB 2026, and every other budget since 1965. If you look at the budget, you will see that the majority of the resources of the budget have been spent on things that is serving public officials. Salaries, allowances, travels, furniture, fuel, vehicles, and so on and so forth. More than on the individual, on citizens. If you look at the Auditor General's report, ikaje bankola naflo pepisi pasar kanyame. There are, billions stolen, mismanaged. So that tells you the state of the Gambia since independence is acting in its own name and for its own welfare, contrary to the constitution. We have a criminal state in the Gambia. That's the long and short of it. And so, where do you stand? And I tell citizens, how do you value yourself? Do you consider yourself a sovereign citizen? Ko banko itela kaunila sembo anila banku diya abelorin wala. Or is it that itemu tambilalti jang warante mu silalti jang warante mu jondi nyim banko at the mercy of mol many alonko plaso membe bulu itele o sembo dila itele o siround dila itele ke kata itele ke fete fata itele ke jo. So take a mem for it comes down to Gambianol one by one. Ngam fallo nyadil, ngam fambu nyadil. And lafta mu banku sifala mu balunya sifala. Na mfon la banku. Because member caring since 1965, na karayalom, tapalayalam, balafirmulam, tilimbalialom, na masakunda wo silo etel katama wal. And for me, it's enough.
To me too.
Thank you.
Okay, abaraka bake Madi kachanyin ngamera betiata akumayata sembo warta jamfata almost 2 hours. I think this is the longest we've been, but a baby interesting, a baby engaging ila kumakan wala senyala aning samla engagement and myself. So ngalong nying nyaje fama jamfata tem because kukutale uluta wala be wulukan me ya lonko ako ni interest tale andung yemen fanan fo me ya tinna fon de fon nga nyin ko nyin ako interest wala nin ko do man work because ndara silo men 2016 na man work nanga sila do jibela andung njikita men fanan na wala nin sila do supporter me ya lonko oppositional be ya support baro banko dingol be bulala no man barobe bolale because iba jelala ko nyaayel tele sai Madi itila doko be kelamenti wala anin inimol men yin ko kacha anin men be yin ko koma because pour Gambia belem yajal ngalo ne ko abe kala kuleti me yalon ko abe transparent lale abe kala pour Gambia beleti pour wol sikata bake inin idea nyi finti saje media household sata nga politician will engage because koko raman kacha abuka bang abuka nyoje yeah but not the murunola the whole system may fail ningo kerek at a workla yeah sitambi no barosi bondi no le waran barosi sila as sila no le wara hakilu ala ya hakilu falen wo basic no le yeah but sai ni tambita muna ba koko ma ntolbe fondulbe murla ko men keda me baro samba fafa ta nyin silola bang so wala nanta danna the aftermath wala nanta danna so e kanyi system mo men foten dukare alin kana time waste I finti I as a diamu no nyanya as a police no nyanya me something ni nang idea sometimes idea na finti da akatara raw stage but mulsi a police abeko bungo ya alia police fali aftandi kankara on kala fali ya mu fali nyinya yeah so basically no jele ha
Mm.
bari yemen fo kukil in that standard unte sila kilongo tala men tambita no and ni politician o sa be in kacha menna coalition ko wala wala first of all
Yeah.
winning candidate nin gambe be benta men ko mo be winnale ya
Yeah.
hani nyin silo fon sa nyin
Yeah.
ko hani yo konke ba sama na bar saying de ko
Mm.
hani slow wulan fon sama nan nin gambe be lo ta ko ma gaban ko kada nya ba be winnale
I mean,
abe winnale so that will no winnable candidate ko wote keda issue nyinte saying memo issue de wala gambe no ya embrace ya ke tati ya politician no ya embrace then nimbon ko tala na stabilize ta abe ko ni be flight ko no ni futa staging altitude stabilize ta ni men lafte don flight ko no problem tala tela
yeah.
yeah Sam
Thank you.
ilaf thing I'd like fonga we just
No,
close.
let's wrap it up now. I think we've been gone for a while, and after on final team for one Madi tend to Kajai, I time moment Kanasi jang up to this time. Madi Imunyon Tawnality. We've always watch your articles and read them when we have time and things like that. So thank you so much for what you're doing for the country. Thank you.
It's a
Yes.
Yeah,
duty.
yeah, definitely. I equally endorse that. I equally endorse that, Madi. We cannot go without thanking you, definitely, for taking your time. This was a last minute invitation, but coming in the urgency, Kamala, yeah, let's do it. Then thank you so much for serving the country. And I know, some people are hammering you left and right, but listen, that's the game of the game. Yeah, moment in Tonya, full of it out there. For see
Mm.
moment did wrong. Yeah, but stay on your path. And then again, it's not about anything. It's not about you. It's about the country.
Mm.
It will be well support. Yeah.
No problem.
Barakabak.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, our
Thank
viewers.
you.
Allah
Yeah.
Barakabak movie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.